Hi, this is Cheryl Gallant, your Conservative Member of Parliament for the rain-soaked riding of Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke. For Conservatives, it's been a busy week in Ottawa, so let's get started. COVID-19 restrictions have had serious economic and mental health impacts on Canadians. These restrictions have been advised by the federal government and implemented by our provincial governments. These restrictions were first sold as temporary measures to alleviate pressure on the healthcare system. Public health tools such as rapid tests, shared data on how COVID-19 spreads, and vaccines have not been implemented as permanent solutions to replace the COVID-19 restrictions by the federal government. The President of the United States and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom have both released public plans for economic reopening. Federal officials have not yet given Canadians clarity on when regular life will be able to resume. Canadian residents need to know when their social lives will resume. Canadians need a plan for hope. They need to know that life is going to get better. The new normal is not okay. That is why on Tuesday, we put forward a motion in the House of Commons giving the government 20 days to present a clear, data-driven plan to support the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions, the gradual lifting of restrictions, and a clearly data-driven plan to lift the restrictions. Canadians deserve a plan. We need a plan to return to normal life. Canadians want the Liberals to tell them when and how COVID-19 restrictions can be safely and permanently lifted. The time to know when things are going to get better is long overdue. It's past time we know when the factors are going to be, what the factors are when they determine a plan to reopen. How much of the population needs to be vaccinated? What are the conditions under which the free flow of traffic between the Canada-US borders will resume? What factors will be assessed in deciding when travelers arriving to Canada by air and sea will be permitted to go directly on their way without any isolation measures? The Liberals cannot keep asking Canadians to sacrifice more. They need to be clear on when the restrictions will be eased. Speaking of restrictions, the CBC and other national media are beating the drums for another complete lockdown, even though the number of deaths attributed to COVID has declined significantly. The broadcast media wants a captive audience again. The latest indication of the federal government's abject failure is the further rationing of vaccines. With vaccine clinics sitting empty for weeks, it's now being suggested that people who have tested positive in the past only need one injection. Another Easter lockdown, another important time of observance, separated from friends and loved ones. This is not the way life should be. Only the Conservatives have a clear path forward to achieve this. As we look ahead to rounding the corner on COVID-19, our country is at a crossroads. The future of Canada is what's at stake. Canadians must choose which path of recovery they can trust. As many of you know, I've never been shy about criticizing the Liberals. We know about the Liberals' countless failures. I want to share with you the plan our leader presented last weekend. The plan is clear. A Conservative government will secure jobs. A Conservative government will secure accountability, will secure mental health, and will secure our country. And a Conservative government will secure Canada's economy. That's jobs. That's your pension. That's our children's future. It will safely secure our future. We must ensure that those who've struggled the most through this pandemic can get back to work. We want a Canada where manufacturing comes back home. We want a Canada where wages go up. You know, Canada's Conservatives got us through the last recession. With our Canada's Recovery Plan, Canada's Conservatives will get Canadians through this one too. This week, we have begun to map out the details of our plan. To secure jobs, we have set a goal of recovering 1 million jobs lost during the first year. And that's the first year as government. We will achieve our goal by taking immediate action to help the hardest hit sectors. We'll rebuild Main Street by assisting small business. We'll also provide incentives to invest in and start new businesses. On Monday, I was at Defense Committee. We learned the Prime Minister authorized a pay bonus of $100,000 instead of ordering an investigation. The Liberal MPs blocked and delayed our investigation into how the Prime Minister let it happen. Whether it's We Charity or SNC, Canadians are worried about our democracy. That's why we must secure accountability by enacting a new anti-corruption law to clean up this mess in Ottawa. We'll increase penalties to the Conflict of Interest Act and tighten up the Lobbyist Act. The last year has underscored the mental health crisis we already faced. It's time to make it clear that mental health is health and ensure the provinces have the tools to treat it. A federal government will secure mental health by boosting funding to the provinces for mental health care. We'll provide incentives to employers to provide mental health coverage to employees, and we'll create a nationwide 3-digit suicide prevention hotline. Whether it's depression born out of social isolation or anxiety and stress trying to keep a business afloat, post-pandemic Canada faces an epidemic of mental illness. We must be better equipped than we were for the pandemic. That's why Conservatives will secure our country by creating a strategic stockpile of essential products. We'll build the capacity to manufacture the vaccines at home. We'll partner with pharmaceutical companies to increase production of critical medicines and build domestic vaccine production capacity. We will use purchases by government and those receiving government funding to strengthen domestic production of personal protective equipment. We will overhaul and rebuild Canada's national emergency stockpile system to ensure that we have the supplies we need so that we can prepare at all times for future threats. Never again can we allow millions of dollars worth of masks to end up in landfills. Finally, we must secure Canada's economy and do that by balancing the budget over the next decade. We can achieve this by winding down emergency COVID support programs in a responsible way as Canadians are vaccinated and the economy reopens. A Conservative government will ensure that stimulus measures are targeted and time limited to avoid creating a structural deficit. Most importantly, we must get the economy growing again after years of slow growth. By securing these 5 points, jobs, accountability, mental health, our country, and our economy, Canada can emerge from the pandemic stronger than before. Now that you've heard our plan, I'd like to hear from you. Is our plan on the right track? What more do you think we can do to secure jobs and our economy? Let me know in the comments below. And please remember, keep the comments PG rated or journalists will write columns demanding I censor you. On Wednesday, Liberals started debate on their bill to weaken jail sentences for dangerous criminals. Bill C-22 eliminates a number of serious firearms offenses that would receive mandatory prison time, including robbery with a firearm, discharging a firearm with intent to harm, and weapons trafficking. The Liberals are proposing to allow criminals to serve house arrest rather than jail time for a number of offenses, including sexual assault, human trafficking, and kidnapping. This puts communities and victims at risk. Bill C-22 has nothing to do with the simple possession of drugs. Instead, it eliminates mandatory prison time for drug traffickers and producers who prey on the vulnerable. Under Trudeau, drug possession has been effectively decriminalized. Conservatives believe those struggling with addiction or mental health issues should get the help they need. But violent, dangerous criminals need to be in jail. Outside the chamber, in the House of Commons committee, investigations are continuing despite the Liberals' attempts to obstruct and delay them. On Monday, Liberals blocked 3 committees investigating wrongdoing from proceeding. My fellow Opposition Defence Committee members and I called for the Defence Minister's former Chief of Staff to appear and answer questions about the cover-up of sexual misconduct at the highest levels. She's ignored previous calls, voicemails, and emails. This Liberal staffer is currently Bill Blair's Chief of Staff. She must be too busy seizing firearms from lawful owners while weakening sentences for criminals who use firearms to commit crimes. The Liberal Kielburger brothers made another arrogant appearance before a committee last week. Many thought this was as low as We Charity could go in their effort to insult our democratic institutions. They would be wrong. We Charity's so-called chief financial officer told the ethics committee he was too sick to appear and asked if he could reply in writing. The committee agreed and sent him questions. He responded by just ignoring many of their questions and answering only those he felt like answering. This arrogance and contempt are not normal behavior for a Canadian charity, but it is textbook for the Liberal Party. And just like the Liberal Party, the goals and good intentions of their donors and supporters become just another tool to advance the leader's brand. Along with the sexual misconduct cover-up, the Trudeau We Charity cover-up We also have the continued cover-up over the dismissal of 2 scientists from the most secure biological laboratory in Canada. It's been 2 years since 2 scientists were mysteriously suspended. We still do not have the full picture of what occurred. My colleagues asked Ian Stewart, the head of Canada's Public Health Agency, to come in and explain. He refused to answer any questions, but did claim the RCMP are conducting an extensive investigation. Incomplete paperwork doesn't normally lead to the RCMP conducting an extensive investigation. We need answers, and the Liberals don't appear willing to share any. Speaking of Health Canada, according to reporting from Blacklock's reporter, the department is hiring social media influencers to praise itself. An influencer is someone on a social media site, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, who is paid or sponsored, usually by a private company, to promote products or viewpoints. These social media influencers do not have to disclose they're being paid by the government. The government is even letting the influencers decide the target audiences. We shouldn't be too surprised. Health Canada needs to pay people to say nice things about them. Just yesterday, the Auditor General released her damning report on the failures of Health Canada and the Public Health Agency. The auditor report listed failure after failure by the government. The Liberals had not updated Canada's pandemic plan since 2016. The Global Pandemic Alert Network had been stripped of personnel. What was Health Canada doing instead of its number one job? They were chasing vapors and rewriting Canada's food guide so it would be more vegan. Now, over a year into the pandemic, the Public Health Agency cares more about what people are saying about them on Twitter than they are in containing the virus. Live from Ottawa, this is Cheryl Gallant.